Um, Hi guys, good evening. We'll start the session. And we have three seniors joining us. They have already completed their finance minor and are already in their practice school. This is a very good place for you to ask all of your questions and clear all your doubts related to the finance minor. And yes, probably without any further delay, over to the seniors. Probably Aryan Bhaiya, you'll be sharing the screen.
Hey Karthik, give me a sec.
Sure.
Yeah, is the screen visible?
Why don't we have a quick introduction by that time, Nadvaya or Yashraj Bhaiya, could you please take over?
Yeah, sure, man. Yashraj, if you want to go first.
No, you can go first.
Yeah, sure. So, hi guys, I'm Ninad. Uh, I'm from the 2019 batch. I'm a dual degree student, MSc Mathematics plus BE Mechanical. I'm right now in my fifth year. I'm currently pursuing my PS at Nomura. I am part of the global markets division and on currently on the CBA trading desk. We'll get into what are the intricacies of the finance minor, and we'll just give you an overview of how the courses and how the things will work for you guys. um, I think we have I'm a dualite, so dualite I'll just pitch in what dualites have to do differently than single degree students for pursuing the minor. I think Aryan and Yashraj can give you the overview for the other things, and we'll come to how this plays into getting a good finance PS station, and what is the scope of the minor in the future as well. Yes, Yashraj, Aryan, if you guys want to kick it off.
Okay, so hi guys, I am Yashraj. I am from 2020 batch. I am a pharmacy student. So I'm not yet in my PS, but I've completed my finance minor courses, and I have an offshoot of 50. I've got A's in all courses, and apart from that, I think Ninad Bhaiya has said what we are going to cover in today's presentation. Hope you would enjoy it and gain some information from it also.
So hey
Aryan.
guys, I'm Aryan. I'm a fourth year student currently pursuing practice school at JP Morgan at Wholesale Credit Risk. I'm an early grad, so I can shed some light on how to complete the courses and computer science majors. Yeah, that would mostly cover it. So Krishna, do you want to start?
No, you can start, Aryan.
Sure. So I guess we can dive into the finance minor. So like what I have seen from major queries at BITS is how to pursue minor, how to complete courses, when to take courses. But I think that are really good questions, which one should obviously address. But first, I guess thing is, why are you pursuing finance minor? Like you should have clear goals and perspective as what do you expect from finance minor, what do you expect to learn. Like most all people here would be trying to target a finance placement or a PS. That's what I guess majority will be. Some will be trying to explore stuff, but have those clear in mind so that you can have a fixed minor when you go into 2-2. I assume many of you will be just going into 2-1 year. So try to explore different minors. We have 6 to 7 minors available and have a clear distinction between why you are pursuing finance minor. Like go into the handouts, read the handouts, talk to professors. They are very forthcoming. You could talk to them how the scope covers it. So the curriculum of finance minor at a campus is really great if you want to do finance, but have those expectations clear. It's not so glamorous. Some of you might think it is Excel oriented. Just to give you a very basic idea, it's not that coding related. And if you just explore the handouts, talk to professors, talk to seniors, and have a clear expectation before you take a minor. Just don't take it as you think you will be needing a finance BS. That's why. Moving ahead, this is the basic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aryan, just a couple of things to add there.
yeah, sure,
Uh,
sure.
So as Aryan said, in the courses you might not require, coding prowess or much knowledge of coding required. I think Excel will suffice. Some advanced knowledge of Excel will also go a long way. But looking at what we are doing in our PS stations, also what we've seen our counterparts from the other campuses also in the PS, what we've discussed with them in various companies, we've seen that. Having a coding background in Python and VBA, also a bit of knowledge of SQL, would help you go a long way in PS in finance. So, just a piece of advice: if you're planning to do the finance minor, also keep in mind that you would like to do, let's say some Python courses or get a knowledge of how basics in Python work. Aryan, something to add to that?
Yeah, exactly. I was targeting on the courses covered on campus that in the job you will require most of the skills.
Sure.
Just do you want to add anything?
Yeah, no, this pretty much sums it up. Yeah, both. You can continue.
So, yeah, coming to the courses, I guess most of you know, but we will tell you. Well, there are two CVCs in the finance minor. That's the FOFA and the FM, and you have to do four electives. So there has been some changes in the finance minor offshoot thing, which you can take up with PhD. But the requirements are two CVCs plus three electives. I guess I would correct it here. The courses include in the finance BS are FUFA, that's Fundamentals of Finance and Accounting, FM, SAPM, BAP, DRM, and FRAM. So that's on the next page, we will discuss it there. So this is the template or the handout of the finance minor. As I said, there are two CDCs which you have to do. And out of all this, you have to do three.
Hey,
Usually,
Aaron, it would be great if you can switch it to the presentation mode. I think.
yeah, I guess I will just rejoin it. I'm having some issues here. Just a second.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, is it visible now?
It is. I was just suggesting you go into the slideshow so that it can be zoomed in. Yeah, thank you so much.
uh, Adding to that, there are these two courses which are compulsory. Sorry for that. And you have to do three courses among the elective courses. So out of this, I guess project appraisal, BAV, DRM, SAPM, and FRAM are only offered on a campus. Rest, I am not sure when they were offered last time. At least not since when I joined.
So in these, I think MBFM is money banking financial management is a CDC for the economics guys. So that is offered in I think three. That is in the odd semesters. So I think you can have that course. I think there's also one more course which is sometimes I think it was 2 or 3 semesters ago it was offered once, but I'm not sure if it's going to be offered again. So yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, EM is also offered, econometric methods. That's also CDC for the economics majors. So major query which we always have is the offshoot, which is used for ranking and some criteria for the PS. So usually what it used to be, at least previously, was they used to take your grades out of 10 for FOFA, SAPM, FM, BAP, and the best of DRM and CRAM, which they might have changed this time, as we heard, but we are actually not sure for that. You please contact PhD for latest offshoot calculations. So, just a quick side note on this offshoot. So, your offshoot, if you're going for a PS in your final year, which may be fourth year for single degree and fifth year for dual degree, if you are going for PS2 in 4-1, your CGPA on offshoot, that's the total grade of all the finance courses, is calculated up at the 3-1 end. Uh, that is a sem prior to that. And if you want to do finance PS and have not completed either of this FOFA, DRM, SAPM, or FM, you will be given a default grade of 5. That's a C minus. And if you want to do a PS in 4-2, your CGPA and offshoot will be considered at the end of 3-2. So if you repeat also any courses in 4-1, your upgraded grade will not be considered. We'll
And
dive. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, Aryan, sorry to interrupt there, but what Aryan was mentioning, that you'll get a 5 for the courses you have not completed. That is conditional that if you're enrolled into that course in a later semester, that is the semester where your offshoot is not counted. So let's say if you're going for PS in 4-1 and you're doing one of the courses in 3-2, if you're enrolled into that course, you'll get a 5. If you're not enrolled into the course, the minor will remain incomplete and it will be considered as a 0. So just keep that in mind, that even if you're thinking that I want to go for 4-1, not able to do courses by 3-1, want to do one course in 3-2, if you're enrolled into it, it will be considered as a 5.
Yeah, and one more thing, just like as Aryan said before, please ask PSD for the latest guidelines, because initially it used to be best of DRM and FRAM, but as of now we are not sure if it's the same. Mostly they have taken FRAM as, like they have just taken DRM as well as FRAM into the offshoot calculations. Aryan, you can continue.
Yeah. So I guess Ninad Bhaiya or Yashraj, any of you can take this up.
I think Yashraj would be the better person to take it up because I did it under Professor Swain. So,
Actually, same year. I was
oh,
doing it under
So actually, I
Professor.
guess we three of it under Professor Swain. So I can give you a basic idea. Like it is currently taken by Professor Tota. Earlier it used to be taken by Professor Swain. So the FOFA part is divided into basically two parts. One is the accounting part and the finance part. Accounting is basically your balance sheets, your financial statements, everything from journal entries to profit and loss statements and balance sheets. Finance part is basically about the bonds, the money market, the stock market, and also uh, their properties. So overall, this is the whole course. Different professors focus on different parts. That changes according to the IC itself. Under Professor Thota, there were no surprise quizzes, and you didn't used to get recordings. What I heard, the thing was different. Under Professor Swain, we had surprise quizzes and we had recordings also, but the pattern was a bit different. Overall, the content will majorly be the same as a course, but focuses would be different and papers would differ accordingly. I guess any 21 batch, Karthikeya or anyone who is here can point out how Thota sir takes it. Would be great.
Yes, so I took this course last semester, and Thota sir mostly focused upon the finance part of FOFA. We covered everything from interest rates, bonds, money market, stock market, and so on. We had a very small part of accounting towards the end, and where we covered some basic principles of accounting. Very important point to mention, what we learned from FOFA ka whole scenario was most of the questions which sir asks in the exams are directly picked up from his classes. So attending his classes are is actually very mandatory, and moreover, you do not get any recordings and so on. So I guess most of us used to actually attend the classes, and it was at a very odd timing. The class was from around 5 to 7 or something like that. So yes, probably that's it.
Yeah, adding to that, these are basically what we experience. These are our opinions. Please don't follow them as is. Please ask the professors how it's taken. It might change every year. The questions might be different. It could be taken from somewhere else. Yeah, should I go to the next course?
Yeah, just give me one point to mention. For in reference to Thota sir's courses, you can always, as Kartika said, questions are usually from what he has taught in the class. So it's good to attend classes. Also, just remember to refer previous year papers as well. I think Thota sir, that is which are said by Thota sir himself. I think Tota sir has a similar kind of pattern in mind of what to ask questions about. So I think yeah, you guys can do that as well. Yes, Aaron, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Do you add anything else?
No, no, that's much of it is covered.
So I had one point to add. So basically, FOFA is usually the first course people take to explore finance, as it's don't have much of it as pre-req, and it's a CDC for the economic ties. So you have a fair competition there. So that's one of the reasons, and it basically introduces you to the statements, which are the fundamental backbone of the whole finance industry. So do consider it when you're trying to explore finance. So FOFA and DRM are usually the ones taken as a first course. Coming up to the derivative risk management, currently, usually it's taken by Professor Shreya Biswas. So derivative and risk management is a bit different from the rest of subjects. It has a more mathematical backing to the theory. The course basically emphasizes on futures and options, their properties, mechanics of the markets, derivatives, option trading strategies, pricing models, and swaps and option deals. This you can find in the handout itself. Do go through it. So the evaluative pattern is usually slides are very exhaustive. They give you a very good source. There are also many external links which MAM provides, and you can also explore on Investopedia. That's one of the great sites. And the book itself, it's a legendary book followed in the DIM course. It's also followed in the MBA itself. So do try to attend classes and practice solving, as it may seem complex if you don't attend much of it. Also, quick TS, it's a nice introduction to derivatives for who want to explore quantitative finance or who have a thing for that. Vishraj, Nand Bhaiya,
Yeah, I would also
you want
like
to
to
add
add,
anything?
like, yeah, like he said, like Aryan said before. So see, Shreya ma'am, whatever she teaches in the class, right? She would be asking questions based on that mostly, not much of a variation also. So like, it's important to attend classes, and like I remember that even in when I had done DRM, there was a closed book midsem during that time. She had taken up the question types were same, just the numbers were a little different here and there, and it's not going to be very hard for you all to understand. And if you're not understanding, obviously ma'am is there to help you all. So do attend classes, and slides are an important part also.
The textbook of this course, as Aryan mentioned, is quite legendary. I know of people who are in senior positions that have the textbook with them in their office drawers. So yeah, that's something really great about the basics of that book. If you're looking into going into finance or in most of the PS, different PS stations, the roles which come for us, I think derivatives and risk management is a quite necessary course for you guys to have an idea about of what you're doing, because most of the functions in an investment bank, except for two or three roles which actually come for equity research or product research type of roles, most of the roles are based on what is traded in the OTC market. So I think that's a lot of derivatives and a lot of variations of those derivatives. So this course is a really good course to get into the background of what goes on, in big banks or in good PS stations. Also, as Aryan mentioned, it has a mathematical foundation. It is everything has a reasoning of why it is like that. So it's good to have that. Also, this is really good for people who want to go into quant. They can understand understand the basics a bit better. So I think overall a great course should give you a proper exposure. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
and one more thing I would want to add that if you are doing FRAM, this is the prerequisite for that course. It's like FOFA is also a prerequisite for financial management course. This is also a prerequisite for FRAM course. So you can't take FRAM until you have done this course.
Yeah. Should I go to the next course?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, please.
Coming to
Okay,
business analysis and valuation.
I'll
Yashas,
take
could
this.
you take this up?
Yeah, yeah, I'll take this.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Can you please show the last slide again? I'd like to take a screenshot.
We'll be
Uh,
sharing the slides. So I guess I don't think.
You're sharing the slides. Are you sharing a recording of this lecture by any chance?
yes, we'll share the recordings of that.
Okay, thanks. Where will you be sharing it if I may just ask?
On Shoutbox.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this business analysis valuation course is taken up by Nivedita ma'am. So it's offered in both semesters, like most of the finance courses. And so this, unlike the previous times where Professor Swain used to take this, here the focus is more on valuation. Like there would be valuations under different scenarios, like how do you value a startup, what kind of valuation techniques should be using. Like there are different models like dividend discount model, relative valuation, etc., which are used to value certain options. There are even real option valuations which include about like should we go ahead with a particular project and what is the value of that project in the future. So the major chunk of the course would be focused on valuation rather than business analysis. Also, I would even say that those who have done financial management course, if they have done it like if they are thorough with that course, it's this course is relatively very simple because uh, basic concepts which are taken in for valuation come from financial management course. One more thing, the other business analysis parts, which include BCG matrix, forces analysis, aren't like in our time at least, since there was a lack of time. So due to shortage of time, ma'am did not cover in that much depth compared to what may have been covered before. But there's one good plus point about this course is that it does not have surprise quizzes. So like, and you get the recording. So there's no issue if you miss a class or so. But again, please attend classes. It always helps.
Yeah, so I have one more thing to add here. I think in most of Nivedita ma'am's classes, she focuses more on how you do the valuation part. So she'll be using Excel for showing you the calculations behind the valuation part. But during the exams, you won't have access to Excel, and you will be doing the calculations on your own. So, as Yashraj mentioned, it is vital to go to classes so that you can understand exactly how the process works. So, once you get the hang of the process, I'd recommend that you try that process out and calculate a question, or let's say a case. I think ma'am will give you some reading material as well. You can refer that as well to do some cases, and do them on a pen and paper, not using Excel, because that will give you a good practice for what you're going to face in the exams for for all the components. I think, as Yashaj mentioned, no surprise quizzes there. Ma'am is very clear about the structure. She'll tell you well before in advance, and she'll also tell you about the structure. This course will contain a mini project, I think, Yashraj, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
we had an assignment. So like assignment can, for us, we had to read up articles. For it may change from semester to semester. Like there may be a case where ma'am would ask you to value a business. of or sorts. And one more thing, like Ninad Bhaiya said, please practice in pen and paper. I'm telling you, because first on on the Excel sheet it may look fine, like okay, you understood this formula is corresponds to this cell and all that. But later on, when it comes down to writing it on the paper, because most of the during the midsem we only had sums, so basically, and that too close book. So you you should have a clear your concept should be clear, and you should clearly understand the flow of solving, because without understanding that, the paper may go very bad. So please practice. It is calculation heavy also, like one more point.
Yeah, as Yashad said, it is the paper is usually lengthy. That has been my experience with Nivedita ma'am's courses. So if you don't know what you're going to do in a question, it might eat up some of your time. So it's good to be very particular about how things are working. As Yashad mentioned, go into the basics, understand what's going on. The concept will be important for you.
Yeah, adding to that, so like the name is very self-explanatory. Business analysis evaluation. So usually both parts are important, as you need to have a basic sense of analyzing businesses and valuation from course point of view. I guess yes, Raj and Ananda covered most of it. But from if you think of it as external purpose, it's a very great course. There are great courses available for online also. One is available on YouTube at Professor Ashwath Damodaran. So actually, that's the textbook of the course which the man uses, but you can refer it afterwards. Yeah, that's it. Should I move to next course?
Yeah, sure. Also, the course was previously taken by Professor Swain, and he also took it up. A lot of material referred to is Aswat Damodaran's, Professor Damodaran's. You can find Professor Damodaran on YouTube. There are courses of valuation and of corporate finance, that is your financial management, available there. He is a professor with NYU, if I'm not wrong, Aryan.
Yes, and values
Yeah.
NYU.
services.
Yeah, so he's a professor with NYU. He teaches in management there, and quite some legendary stuff. Indian. He's called the valuation guru. Even Indian, uh, stock market channels have had him over for discussing valuations of companies. So I think that's someone you can look up, uh, and I think refer to his books as well.
Can you repeat his name again?
Aswath Damodar. I'll just put it on the chat box. Aryan, please proceed. Thank you.
Yeah. Coming to security analysis and portfolio management. Shiraj, would you like to take it?
Oh, okay, so basically in this course, there would be it's taken by Nivedita ma'am or Shreya Biswas ma'am. So it's offered in both semesters, like it's given. So there are many parts to this courses which include like understanding convexity of bonds, but major part of the courses are on different asset pricing models like CAPM, single index model. There's a even a theory efficient market hypothesis. There are Pharma French's three-factor model, four-factor model. Such models you would be exposed to in this course, and like technical analysis and fundamental analysis are also a part of it. And yeah, you would be having an assignment in this course too, in which you may have to like create a. During my time, at least, it was creating a optimum portfolio analysis. I believe. So we had to take 20 different diversified stocks, which and we had to give particular weightages assigned to it through understanding Markovitch efficient portfolio theory. And like yeah, it's extremely calculation intensive. And again, in this case, if Nivedita ma'am is taking the course, there would be Excel sheets, so please start writing it down, because again in the exam you won't understand anything if you are just done it on the Excel. And yeah, again, this is again another calculation intensive course, and please do practice it regularly. I think Aryan can add, and or Nidad Bhaiya can add more points to this.
Yeah, coming to security analysis. So basically, it's more calculation intensive. If you have done financial management, it takes a leaf off of it and continues it in a different direction. People usually pair it up with business analysis and valuation or FM, as some part of the courses usually overlap between these two. Coming to the project and assignments part, if you see every finance course has a project or an assignment. It varies whether it is a continuous assignment or it's a one-time project. But do take those carefully. Those are really good. You will get a very good hang of the concepts and also how to do it when you are doing a such project. Like it is a group project because one it's a heavy project. Otherwise, the group size would be different. So yeah, that's it from my side. Nandya, do you want to add?
Yes, regarding the project, so it also depends on who's taking the course and how they're taking it. So Nivedita ma'am, I took it under Nivedita ma'am. We had a project which had essentially two small projects in there. So one was before midsem, one was after midsem. So both the projects were really nice. You'll get a good exposure on how things work. Also, if ma'am tells you that you can do that in Excel, I think she emphasizes on Python nowadays. I would recommend that even if she says that you can do it via Excel, I would say you take it up via Python. You can also do it by Excel if you have the time, if you find it fascinating. I think that would be a good thing to learn. But try to code it out so you'll have a better understanding of how you can implement it via code. And I think that will also hone up your skills. That's it.
Yeah, and one more thing, please don't get overwhelmed by the project. If you have any doubts or questions, please reach out to ma'am. And one more thing, like projects are based on what is taught in class, so it won't be like it's never taught and then suddenly a project comes up and you have to do it.
Yeah, adding to that, I guess in my when I did the course, the project was both in Excel and Python, so we had a fair exposure of both sides. To explore both, you will get a hang of pros and cons of both. Yeah, do you guys have anything to add? Should I move to the next
Yeah, you
slide?
can move on.
Yeah, please move on, please.
Okay, I'll
Financial
take
management.
this. Yeah, I'll take it up. Okay, so I was the TA for this course last semester. So yeah, it's taken by Nivedita Sinha ma'am. So like I said before, FOFA is a prerequisite for financial management. So you can't do them both in the same semester. So and like you need them because there are certain concepts from FOFA which are carried forward to FM. So it would be good if you have a good understanding about FOFA. It's not that you need to have an A grade in that, but you need to have the basics right. And there are different again, this is the main, I would say, the main calculate, like the main theories come up from here, which would help you in BAV. The application of this course is business analysis valuation. So like there would be many calculative methods like net NPV or internal rate of return. And projects are also, again, there are projects in this group projects generally done on Excel or Python, and they are based on the topics which are taught in class. And so like there would be even topics which are covered like like the decision to give credit, budgeting decisions in companies. So like this course is basically from the company's perspective, perspective, like how they can manage their uh, internal fundings or balance sheets, etc., or what should be the most optimum debt to equity ratio, etc. And again here, please attend classes. And since Nivedita ma'am takes this course, it would again be on Excel. So ma'am would also tell this to you, but I'm also telling it here, like please note down everything on pen and paper, solve it once, because the exam questions are going to be calculative. And if you don't understand, if you like, the thing is that if you miss out one point in a it's like a chain. If you miss out one, then all your calculation below that goes wrong. So please be careful during for careful. And yeah, anything else you would like to add, Ninad bhaiya or Aryan?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Yeah, coming to some points, what I felt during the course was it's a really good course. Actually, it's a CDC, you have to do it, but it gives you a very vast exposure to corporate finance, which is usually the term used in other universities. Dr. Ashwat Damodaran also has the lectures on his site for this course. It's a really good course. But it's a very vast course, so don't get lost in one topic. You would be stuck in it if you take too much time on that, if I can say. But a really good course to explore. I guess Yashraj covered most on the course point, but you will enjoy it if you like. If you are really into some core finance.
Yeah, also a point I would like to add, please solve the previous year questions. They would help you understand. If you solve the previous year questions for this course, you'd be able to make sense, like in a better way, like what is being done, and it would definitely help you during the midsem and the compre also.
Should I move to the next one? Yashraj.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Please move ahead.
So coming to financial risk analytics and management, which usually called FRAM. Virendra, do you want to take this up?
Yeah, sure. So FRAM is generally taken by Professor Thota. Earlier, it used to be that Nomura and Credit Suisse used to visit our campus, and executives from there would come in and teach the relevant parts of the course. So I think a lot of material what SAR has prepared is retained from those. So you can actually understand from a bank's perspective how what they look for, what they want you to learn. The prerequisite of the course is DRM. For prerequisites go, you can't do both of them in the same semester. Thota sir will also emphasize that the importance of doing DRM first. So coming to the course structure, FRAM has modules on the option Greeks. I think option Greeks is an important part of how derivatives work, how uh, various pricing of various products are done in investment banks, the mechanics of exotic options. So there's a non-ending list of over the counter derivatives of exotic options which there are, but sir will cover most of the important ones, so you'll know them. You'll just get the hang of the basics from here. There are also modules on the different kinds of risks, the market risk, credit risk, liquidity risk, and how the regulatory bodies have set the limits for those risks, and how investment banks should have reserves and work out their risk, and so they have enough capital to cover those risks. FRAM is not a compulsory course. It usually wasn't considered till last semester. It wasn't considered much of an important course. People who wanted to go into specific roles had to take it up because they would have a better idea about it. But I think this semester during the PS allotment, as you can ask PSD for the guidelines again. But I think FRAM was considered as one of the courses. So FRAM, I think most people do it in their semester just before the PS. I think RN took it up with me last semester. I also took it up last semester. So I would say you can go for FRAM if you have the space in your curriculum. I would say you go for FRAM. Try to make space for FRAM, so you get a good idea about what things are. And as most of Thotasa's courses go, there won't be any recordings available. The slides are more than enough for studying for evaluatives. You can also refer the previous year papers for that. You can also refer to previous year quizzes for quiz evaluatives. There are no surprise quizzes as such. Thotasa will declare whatever it is. And the only downside to having FRAM is uh, it's the timings of the course are it's on a Saturday, and usually it's for 2 to 5, which might extend to, let's say, 5:30 on some days. Also, there might be some extra classes as well. Good thing from Thodasa's side is he'll take a break at a mid class, and he'll sponsor tea for everyone in the class. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it's a tedious course to do. If you are attending classes, it will take up a lot of your time. I think, personally speaking, completely my personal view, uh, classes, I would recommend not attending classes in this course. You can understand a lot of things from the material provided. There will be some extra reading material as well. That reading material will come in handy most of the times. And I think that's pretty much about it. Aryan, you would like to add something?
Yeah, adding to the Saturday wala point, I guess the timetable has been changed. It's now Monday, Wednesday, Friday, third hour. So don't
Oh,
think that
great.
would be an issue anymore. Also, adding to
That's great.
that, this is kind of a more specialized course. The other courses just give you a very broad aspect of finance. This dives deep into risks, as you could see the topics mentioned. It gives you actually a really great idea how investment banks work. Because as we do PS, that makes a very you can even though it's a very broad introduction, it gives you a very great sense of what you're actually doing. Because the roles which we get in PS are aligned towards the risk departments which we have. Uh, Also, adding to that, of taking a FRAM, I would say go ahead with it, like other guys said, and try to attend classes if you want to, because you can have great discussions with sir if you want. But coming on the evaluators part, you can go ahead with the slides. Again, personal opinion, I never attended any of the classes for any courses, but I used to go through slides and stuff and explore the other parts. I would not recommend doing this, but you can try it.
Yeah, so what Aryan said, like I used to attend classes for FRAM, and like it's a personal opinion again. That's something, it's up to your own learning curve. Also, yeah, as Aryan mentioned, there can be some very good interaction. There can be very good discussions with sir. So I think you can, have the opportunity to do that with sir. You can go ahead with classes for that. And also the relevance of this course, like personally speaking, for on in my role, I think the most relevant course from the minor, I would say, um, for my PS is FRAM, because a lot of things are covered in there are basics, but those basics are the building blocks for what I am currently doing in my PS work. So yeah, I would say it's a big tick mark for me to do FRAM for the minor.
I guess we reached the end of the courses part. I guess we can open up for a short Q&A regarding the courses. Then we can go ahead with the PS2 and offshoot other part. Karthik, will that do?
Yes, that works.
Sure. Uh,
Yep. Any
do you have
questions
any
regarding the
questions?
courses?
I guess we have some questions in the form itself, right?
Yes. So the only question which I can find which is related to the courses is it advisable to take FOFA instead of a HUL in 2-1 and then do DRM in 2-2? Uh,
So like I will can give a personal opinion to word by word. What I feel is it's basically dependent on what you want to do. Uh, if you want to take a easy course or you have an interest toward a human, you can go ahead. If you want to explore, what I would suggest is try as courses as in your 2-1 or 2-2, so you get a better idea. If you delay it, you would be delaying the minor selection process in 2-2, so you won't have done enough courses to get idea. Do you want a minor in that? That's a personal opinion. It will depend on it. Yes, Raj, Nagul.
Yeah, I would also add to that saying that at least try out FOFA and DRM within your in your second year, because if you want to go ahead with the finance minor, like it would give you a good exposure to make and help you decide whether you need to go forward with this or you don't want to go forward with it. In my case, I taken FOFA and 2-1 and DRM and 2-2. So yeah, and yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Ninad Bhaiya, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, so as Yasharat said that most of the people try to experiment it out with these two courses. I would say these two are not the representation of what the finance minor is all about, but yeah, it gives you maybe maybe some insight whether you would like such kind of things or not. I think FOFA and DRM have the diversity of being two different courses where you will get the idea of what you're going to do. So I would recommend that you try to do it as early as possible. I did my FOFA and DRM both in my 2-2. So if you get the chance to do it in 2-1, look, I'll be very candid about this. ULs are something which is secondary for you. Those are the course courses you have to complete. Unless you are planning to have a career in those fields, then I think it should be the priority for you. But if you're looking for an opportunity into finance, or you want to explore a few courses for some minors, I think a good strategy would be to take up the UL courses in your non-PS semester, that is for single degree students. And for dual degree students, I would say try to accommodate FOFA and DRM along with your humanities. You can leave one of the humanities for your fourth year. That's what I've seen a few people do. There are a few people who have completed the humanities and took up only FOFA in the second year, but I think they were struggling. Personally, what I've seen them struggling with the course load in the later semesters. I'll be talking about how to take up courses in the for dualites later on in the session. If you have any questions regarding whatever we've said, please let us know now. Then I think we'll move on.
Yes, someone has a question regarding is it easy to get FOFA and 2-1? How many seats are available for the same? Registration should not be an issue until unless it's obviously clashing with some of your other CDC or other course, and you usually get all the finance minority courses regardless of the PR number. Last year, I had a very bad PR number and still got all the courses, so I don't think that should be an issue.
And
So
I
I
think
guess
they
the
even,
issue
yeah.
here, sorry
Yeah,
for
tell,
interrupting, Yashraj.
continue, continue,
I'll,
continue.
yeah, I will go ahead. So what happened with me was in 2-1 I couldn't get any finance course because I had clashing with my CDCs, and my 2-2 I could only get one of the FOFA or DRM courses again due to the CDC clashes. So it really depends on if you can take it. It's not much of a choice if you have. If you have a choice, it's really great. Go ahead. People usually try to do FOFA or DRM at the same pace or do FOFA before DRM. That's what I have observed the trend. I did the reverse. I did DRM in 2-2 and I did the rest in all in my third year. So just check with the timetable, try making a mock timetable, see if it clashes or not, then go ahead. That would what I would be saying. Going by recent trends, I guess there have been more considerate about giving slots to the finance minor. Last sem also they extended the slots for DRM and FOFA. So I don't think it will be major issue if you don't have clashes with CDCs.
Yeah, it won't be a problem if it does not clash with your CDCs. Yeah, there may be certain cases where, like in my time during DRM, I could not register it in the initial registration, but during the add and swap period, they increased the number of seats. So the people who could not register before managed to register it then. So like usually they're considerate about how many students want to take up that course and keep a fair number of seats open for students to register.
Yeah, I guess we can go to the PS2 and placements part. I guess that's what most people are waiting for after this course marks. I guess there's one question regarding the finance minor cutoff. Yeah, usually there is a cutoff, but it's very low. It's in the lower six, if I am right. Uh, I don't think that would be major issue, but they give courses to even I have seen to 5.8 and 6 also. Rinatbhai, Shrash, do you have any idea regarding this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
Yashraj. Please, no, no, please,
yeah.
Yashraj. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, yeah, even in my understanding, the cutoffs are not very high. They are like range between 6 and 7, or even below that maybe.
Yeah, shouldn't be an issue until and unless you're really close to 5. I think there is some kind of cutoff they have in mind, but usually it's very low, and you'll get it quite easily. Also, regarding the queries we have for PS and CG cutoff for PS and how PS companies work. We'll just go through it in the upcoming slides. I think Aryan, can you please kick us off?
Coming to PS and placements, so as I'll just reiterate it. PS is practice school 2, which happens in your fourth year if you're single degree, and in your fifth year if you're dual degree. You have an option for single degree students. You have an option to go in your seventh semester or a eighth semester. That is 4-1 or 4-2 for a finance PS if you are willing to. Uh, for PS2, we have companies like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, Nomura, Deutsche Bank, Morgan Stanley, which take up for various roles. And there are some other companies which are not investment banks, but they do hire for non-tech and finance roles. Uh, so actually, this is a very great start to your intern career as in finance, because there are usually no placements which happen in India or at least in engineering colleges here. So the internship is usually the way you go into a career switch into a finance role. Coming to the major queries which people have, I will just go ahead with it in another way. One of the questions is why, when do we cover the courses? I guess we covered it in the previous slide. For going in a 4-1 or 4-2 PS2, that's usually a mix of options where you have to take in consideration in CG and the companies available, which will vary semester to semester. So please take a uh, informed decision on that. But what the usual trend has been is a 4-1 PS2 has lower CG cutoffs and offshoot cutoffs, and a great number of companies come. 4-2 has higher CG cutoffs, and but the PPO chance what we have seen from trend is greater in a 4-2 PS. Again, it varies season to season depending on market conditions. Do check it out according your priorities. And as I mentioned in placements, there is a less opportunity to get placed in an investment bank. You can try some product management or consulting roles if you want to, but again, that won't be a perfect alignment to a finance minor. You could explore more on that. Another way, Ashraj, you guys can take it.
No, I think you covered pretty much about it. I think we have a question on finance PS1. I think we'll cover that. You can, reach out to us personally on that. I think it's not a very relevant topic at the moment, because I think there's no requirement of the finance minor for the finance PS1. Looking at some questions you have, I think there's a question that uh, I see that can I do an MSc Maths only without an engineering degree with finance minor? Yes, you can. There are seniors who have done that. Most recent one I know is Nikhila. Nikhila, I think I forgot her full name. She's from the 17 batch. Uh, yes, Nikhila Kulukuru. She is right now pursuing her master's in computational finance from Carnegie Mellon. She was just a mathematics student. She pursued her finance minor, and she did her PS and then full time at Credit Suisse. You can reach out to her for that. Please reach out to me if you want to connect with her. Um, Also, there are questions about, I think, what Aryan mentioned about finance 4-2 finance PS versus 4-1. Yes, he rightly mentioned that in the previous trends what we've seen, 4-2 has a higher probability of you getting a convert, but that all boils down to what company you are a part of, how what kind of hiring they're going to do. If there's a vacancy in your team, usually if there's no vacancies, then you might not even get an offer. If your work is good, they might try to accommodate you in some other team as well. So there's a lot of variables at play there. I would just suggest that you give your best, try to score as high as possible, and see what you get. Then you can think about how those opportunities are going to shape around for you.
So taking one question from the chat, I guess Dave's question is: have IBs such as James Street, Tower Research, or Wells Fargo and promote placements in its campuses? And if not, how difficult to get any role? So first of all, James Street, Tower Research, and Wells Tower Research are not IBs; they are quantitative hedge funds. They are fundamentally different to how IBs work. Wells Fargo is a bank which are actually kind of scaled down from its previous heights. So I don't know if it counts in major in any campuses across India. Coming to Jane Street and Tower Research, they don't hire finance roles. They actually hire as SDs and quants, if you want. Tower Research actually comes to Planning campus for SD roles and quant roles. James Street hires, what I've heard is only from top three IITs, that also for quant roles, not pure finance roles. I hope that clears your question.
There's a question:
They,
is finance PS totally CG based? So it's actually, a combination of. Sorry, Aryan. Were you saying something?
no, no, go ahead.
Uh, so it's actually a combination of your CGPA, of your offshoot, of the branch requirements of the particular role for that PS. So it's a combination of that usually. So you cannot say that they are totally CG based. I think that clears up the question you are asking.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Uh, you want to continue?
no,
Yeah,
no,
right.
please, go ahead.
Okay, like one more thing, but it's always good to have a good CG and a good offshoot. Like it definitely helps you increase your chances of selection. I would-
Totally, yeah. Even there are a few, roles wherein they've mentioned, specific branch criteria, but very good. If you have a very good CGPA, they've considered for those roles. Safe CGPA and how much offshoot? I think you single degree students can take it up for them. I'll take it up for the dual degree students.
So adding to that, it's not CG based. What we had uh, noticed this semester was it more on a profile based and an interest based rather than a previous CG and offshoot based. Companies do hire by taking your interaction and interviews. So do have a overall profile. Coming to say CG, I guess that would depend mostly on personal basis and also what you have currently. So what I can say is above 8 is a very good safe range if you have a well-rounded profile. A good CGPA obviously is a very good, but try keeping it 8 plus. We have seen people taking it from 6.9 to 9, and we have variety of students who have got PS in that. But try to keep above 7.58. That would be a safe range, in my personal opinion.
So for that, I would say for single degree students, a safe, if you want to go for a safe short chance, then it would be 8.5 plus. But yeah, most of the roles 8 plus should be uh, should be sufficient to get into them. But yeah, maintaining a good CGPA will obviously improve your chances. Also, as Aryan mentioned, a lot of the roles are profile based, also are based on how your interests align with the role, and you might have interactions related to them. So maintaining a good profile, having a couple of personal projects, having Python knowledge, these are some of the points which are advantageous to them. For dual degree students, I would again say the safe CGPA range would be 8 plus. For economic students, there is no such thing as an offshoot. For economic students, it is a bit better in terms of your safe CGPA. You can say the safe CGPA can be above 7.5 because they are considered preferred for a few of the roles. For other dual degree students, if you want to get a sure shot chance, I would say 8 plus would be an ideal CGPA. Also for you might have a good chance with 7.5 plus, but I would say not take the risk for that. And for how much offshoot you must have, I think as close as to the perfect score you can get. But on let's say on a safe basis, you need to have it at 45 plus out of 50, or 55 out of 60 depending on the circumstances. So I would say 54 out of 60, or let's say that. So 90% score would be a safe offshoot. Aryan, Yashraj, anything on that offshoot part?
Yeah, adding on to the offshoot part, yeah, try maintaining as perfect as score as possible. What I did was I had two courses pending in my minor in my 3-2. So what went for my offshoot score was 48 out of 60, which I won't recommend anyone to do it, but I chose it as a personal choice. But try to maintain it as better as possible. Uh, And yeah, they usually do consider profiles. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Like I had a low offshoot compared to the rest of the people who got in the same roles.
Yeah, Aryan and Ninad bhai have pretty much summed it up. Please keep your offshoot as close as to the perfect score. So like I have done 5 courses and I have an offshoot of 50. But now since like I'll be sitting for the practice school at in my second semester, like in 4-2. So like even if I take FRAM next year, it would be considered as 5. So like technically it's 55. But uh, yeah, please keep your offshoots very close to the perfect score. It would help you a lot.
Questions if Dualites, someone wants to sit for PS1. I'll just clarify here that PS1 is the PS you do just after your second year, that is after your 2-2. What we are talking about right now is your PS2, which you will be doing in your final year. So yes, if Dualites want to go for PS2 in their 5-1, yes, their CG till 4-1 will be considered. I think we'll cover this slide, then we can come back to the questions. Yes, Aryan, please. So
Another you can take up for your next.
Sure. I'll take it up for Dualites first. So for Dualites, if you want to go for PS, I think Dualites have the option of doing double PS. So double PS in finance in most of the fields is more advantageous than say a single semester PS, because you're working with uh, you're working for a longer period of time. In a few of the PS stations, like for let's say for my PS station Nomura, they prefer dual degree students, as they want students to come in and do internships for 2 semesters. Also, there are there are other companies which will give you an option to extend your PS if your performance is good. So dual PS will of course will improve your chance for getting a PPO. uh, so for doing that, you need to complete all your courses of the minor before the end of 4-1. So in 4-1, you should have taken up all 6 of your courses. For economics students, there is no such criteria as such, because you don't have a minor, but it is highly recommended that you complete all the relevant finance courses which are done in the finance minor by your 4-1, so that there won't be any issue during the PS allotment. Also, for non-eco dualites, if you want to pursue a finance minor, you guys will have to do a summer term to accommodate all of your courses. So for let's say uh, you will be taking up your 1 or 2 of your courses in your second year. So speaking from my point of view, I did my FOFA and DRM in 2-2. I did my BAV in 3-1, and I did the rest 2 of courses, FM and SAPM, during the summer term. So in a summer term, you can take a maximum of 3 courses or 10 credits. So a lot of people, what they follow is they'll do 2 courses they complete 2 courses by 3-1 and take up the rest of the 3 courses in the summer term. But kindly note that in summer term, sometimes it is the issue that sometimes they might not offer the course which is pending for you. So I'd say try to accommodate the finance courses as much as you can as early as possible. So recommended would be you complete at least 2 courses before your summer term. So if you even if one of the courses isn't offered during summer term, you can take it up in 4-1. But then again, it comes to a personal choice. I thought it would be better to be done with 3 courses and just do the rest of the 2 courses during my summer term. Also, for dual degree students pursuing any kind of minor, the semesters will be very hectic. You will be having full 25 credit semesters, 25, 24, 25 credit semesters throughout your 8 semesters. So kindly take note of that it is going to be academically rigorous for you. You'll have to take care of both your degrees as well as the finance minor. And of course, I talked about the advantage of finance double PS. uh, how should non-eco-dualite structure the ULs? So as I said earlier, try to complete two courses in 2-2. You can leave one of your ULs for 4-1 or even 4-2 to do. So I did one of my ULs in 2-2 to 1, or two, I did it in 2-1. I did one of my ULs in 4-1 and the other one in 4-2. But that's not what usually people do. People will try to complete the ULs as early as possible. So I would say for non-eco dualites, you can take up two ULs during your second year. You can complete two of the finance courses, and you can take one of the ULs during your 4-1 or 4-2, whatever is available for you. Yeah, do companies prefer eco kids over other branches? Yes, for a few roles it is specified what kind of branch requirements are there. So there are some regulatory things as well, so they need to keep in mind for that. So a few of the research roles may only go to eco dualites. There are a few roles where they'll prefer only dual degree students. There are a few roles where they'll be preferring only computer science or IT kind of background students. So there's that. Anything to add to that, Aryan?
I don't have much idea on doing.
Sure. So there's a question: is low CG and high offshoot better, or I'd just say high offshoot, high CG is the best thing you can have. Don't be reliant on if your offshoot is better or CG is better, because the PS rules are very dynamic. You never know what's going to change, how they're going to change it. So I would say be best prepared. Yes, Aryan, you can please go ahead with the early grads.
So coming to the PS part, so we don't have clear idea what's a good way. We are just analyzing trends which we saw here. There is no official guideline from PS division at what is considered. They just mentioned it's a mix of your branch, your CGPA, your offshoot, and your profile. So it's very black box kind of thing. We just try to derive patterns from it. So that's what you're doing. Again, if you have, you can ask PhD, but usually it's a mixture of luck and the market conditions which you will be getting there. So coming to early grads, if I guess that would be a new concept to many of you. So BITS, as you all know, BITS follows credit system. If you finish the credits required for your degree, you could do graduation. That's you can do a early graduation in 7 semesters instead of the usual 8. Uh, for this, you have to done with all the courses in 7 semesters, including the PS2. So I am doing my PS2 in 4-1, and that's the only option you have because you will be graduating. You can't take a sem gap of 3-1 if someone had the question. Coming to the finance minor part, for this to be doing, you need to complete your finance minor by 3-1. No, by the end of 3-2. Yeah. So what you, I guess I lost connection there. Hello.
You are
Yeah,
audible.
you're here. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Continuing for the early grads part, you need to complete your campus course requirement 3-2, and you need to complete your finance minor by 3-1. That is your fifth semester. That So what you will be trying to focus is doing a one or two courses in 2-1, one or two courses in 2-2, and rest of in 3-1. That's you usually would prefer. What happened in my case was a bit different. I couldn't get courses as I mentioned earlier also. So I did FOFA in 2-2 and I did BAV, SAPM and uh, DRM in 3-1 and one course FM and FRAM in 3-2. So I didn't complete my minor per se. So I got 5 in rest of courses, and I took a personal decision to do early grad instead of this. So I was at a disadvantage there. Please don't go ahead with this. Take all your priorities in consideration. Coming to early grad decision, it's a variety of factors based on your CGPA, your profile, your offshoot, and your career aspirations. As many, I have heard some master courses don't consider 3.5-year degree to be valid 4-year degree, and also there are some issues with the with AHSD also. So a brief overview: your uh, take your priorities in concern. You can do the courses in 3-1. It will be hectic. It will be 25 credit semesters, all 7 of them. And yeah, it just gives you one sem extra. You have to pay the fee for the 8 sem if you think that's and you get 6 months extra experience as a full-time employee. I guess that would a brief overview. If anyone wants to talk more about, you can DM. I don't think that will apply to most of them, but you can anyways DM if you have any queries. Priyanka, do you have anything to add here?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. You can also reach out. You can reach out to Aryan if you want to talk to other people. Aryan can, provide the contacts as well. I think Siddesh has put this up question for the second time. Does branch matter for finance, PS2 roles, and PPO conversions? I think I mentioned that there are a few roles. I think you can refer the recording back there about the branches. And for PPO conversions per se, it's more relevant on your what your work is over there. Just you understand that doing the courses, getting a grade, getting your grades right, getting your offshoot right is just the first way of getting into any kind of specific role. There will be a lot of on the job learning. There will be a lot of new things which you'll be doing, which might not be as the which not might be the same as what you've done for your courses over in the college. It is going to be different. It is going to be challenging. So a lot of the PPO conversion matters on how you're performing, how the outlook of the bank is, or outlook of the company is. If let's say there's a hiring freeze, there's no chance of you getting a PPO. If you're performing well, there's no vacancy in your team. You might not get an offer. If there is a vacancy in, let's say, some adjoining team or something like that, they might try to accommodate you there. So it's very dynamic. I cannot comment singularly on that. If you want to know more, you can reach out to us personally. We'll be able to guide you there better.
I see one question from Chinmay or someone else. What should we do if you're confused in various minors? Like, should people go towards DSC, NI, or finance? So, personally, I am not a Phoenix guy, but what I would suggest is try to have your priority list, what we want, and see if that fits it. Try to explore more. If it's a professional choice, think of pros and cons there in terms of packages and career exposures there. Think from both what you like and also what it could land you as a professional career in job basis or in a master's basis, what would help enhance your profile for MS applications. uh, do try reaching out to seniors who have been in similar position in Phoenix. I could connect with you some which had CNI minors, which had finance minors also. Also, for someone, I guess, asked the question: are some roles branches preferred for PPO and also the PS2? For PS2, there is set criteria because of the roles requirement. As we engineering college, they hire engineers here, so they prefer having some of the tech knowledge, as many of there are automation roles. So try having Python knowledge, SQL knowledge, analytics knowledge. If you are having machine learning, that's also a great plus point. That would really help you to get a PS2 there. PPO, as Nandbir mentioned, it depends on macroeconomic factors and also your company's outlook. So I guess that covers most of it. Another way, Start, do you want to add anything?
No, I think we can move on to the.
Move on, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, one. I will take this up quickly. So one question, what many times, which I have heard many times, is finance is computational economics. So computational economics was introduced just last year when I was in my 3-1. So computational finance economics is a mixture of machine learning, analytics, and some core economics like econometric methods, game theory, and computational methods in economics and other courses which are pure economics than finance based. So the course which in computer economics are more relevant to quant analytics and automation related roles in PS2 compared to a more finance oriented bank role. The computational economics minor will not build a proper foundation in finance as it doesn't have finance per se. You get a hint of it, but it's usually econometric methods and other data analysis which is done in economics with their conventions and the basics. if you want to hedge your bets here, like to take a safe side, what you can do is do a finance minor and do some projects in data science and machine learning, or take a reverse kind of thing, do a computational economics minor and do a projects in pure finance. What I have seen people do is do the former option, taking finance minor and do project in data science, as we have ample projects on campus and off campus related to data science. That's what I have usually seen. You could try any of those. Also, try to figure out what you want as early as possible. Would be great to sharpen your profile and your career towards that. I guess we are open for questions now. Uh, there are questions here, and I guess in the chat box too.
Yeah, so what do we have here? I think we discussed the first questions, first a few questions. Uh, Extra skills, as we mentioned, analytics coding, you can have Python, SQL. Uh, you can also have, a few personal projects, anything related to, as Aryan mentioned, you can also have ML that might, boost your profile a bit. Uh, Early grad, I think Aryan mentioned that. What offshoot should we be looking at? I think we've discussed that as well. Uh, if you have a low score in, I think repeating courses, try to avoid them as much as possible. First, focus on completing all your courses first. Then you can repeat a specific course. More or less, it isn't looked down upon in companies if you've repeated a course. It doesn't matter that much. It matters if you are losing a grade in the course. It matters then, but if you are improving, then shouldn't be an issue. So you can do that as well. I think we can open the floor. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put it up on the chat. If there are, some questions which are quite specific, I can see here, you can reach out to us personally for that if you've not answered them, because I think giving them out in a general perspective would not be beneficial for you as well as other students around you. You can have a tailored personal answer to that if you're reaching out to us. For quant and trading roles, is finance minor compulsory? So, Vaibhav, let's say in our college there aren't any quant companies coming specifically for quant roles during placements. But for, if you look at it from the perspective of PS, for any kind of finance role, finance minor is compulsory. If you are inclined towards quant, I think Aryan can answer that question better for you. If you want to go for CNI or finance, because during my time there was no CNI minor, so I cannot, attest to that. If you can please explain taking up courses as dualites, that would be really helpful. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick overview once again. I think I mentioned that earlier as well. So non-eco dualites, what you guys have to do is you have to try to complete 6 courses. For a few, dual degree combinations, it might not be possible to complete 6. I think I'm aware of 2 or 3 combinations like that. So no need to worry. You can complete those 5 courses as well. So what you should ideally be looking at is try to complete 2 of your courses in your second year, and complete at least 2 of your ULs in your second year. Your third year will most probably be packed with your CDCs, only if you have a few, if you there's a few combinations where you might have space to do one course. If you are a part of that combination of dual degrees, I would say complete one of your other courses as well during your third year. And the rest of the courses, whatever are pending, you can do them during the summer term. Doing a summer term, as I said, would be essential, as there's not enough credit space where you can complete all the courses required. So I would say try to complete 3 courses by ideally what people do, or what dualites do, is they complete 2 courses before the summer term, and then in the summer term they complete the rest of the courses. So it might be possible that the course which is pending for you might not be offered during summer term, so you might have to take that up during 4-1. So to be on the safe side of that, you can complete 3 courses by 3-1 if it is possible, 3-1 or 3-2 if it is possible for you. If not possible, you can complete 2 of the courses by then. So I would just say complete 2 of the courses, and focus on getting rest of your degree done, right? Because as you like, you'll be having a lot more course load than your peers, that is except for early grads who will be loading up courses just like you. So yes, DELS for both main degrees should be done in the 4th year, because your 3rd year will be completely filled with your CDCs. You might have space for only 1 or 2 courses, so you can take up one of the finance courses there. If you have an additional space, I would say you can go for your DEL. So DELs in the 2nd year also can be taken up. For personally speaking, I completed 1 DEL, 1 UL, and 2 finance courses during my 2nd year. But there are people, usually what people do is they'll complete their 2 UL courses in the 2nd year, and they'll go for all their DELs in the 3rd and 4th years. Yeah, so most people will have only one empty slot in the 3rd year, and I'd say you can go for completion of one of your finance courses if you feel that the course load might permit you to have that, or you can even go for one humanity course if you feel like that the course load might not allow you to look for finance course during that time.
Yeah,
Max number of
taking the
courses, Swarnadeep, I think that I mentioned that earlier as well. It's a maximum of 3 courses or 10 credits. So you don't have to exceed either of them. That's the you know criteria. Yeah, please, Aryan. Sorry.
taking Weber question for quant and trading roles. So CNI minor was introduced in my region. So many people who wanted to take finance minor had already taken it. So coming from they already had a bias towards finance minor, what I know. But coming to on campus scenario to real things, we don't have quant and trading roles coming to a campus per se for placements. So if you really want to explore those, don't go for a minor perspective as they are very course specific in our campus. Do explore all the things. You will be needing some of the finance minor, the DRM FRAM part, not the other part. And for CNA minor also, you will be requiring, I guess, most of analytics and DSA part, mostly in Python, not the C++ and Java part. So you would have to do it on your own and create a profile based on that. I can connect with some of my friends from other colleges who have done it, and we have some seniors in 16 or 17 batch who are in quantitative roles and didn't do finance minor, and some did. So it's really a very personal question, and your priorities, what you want to do. Uh, in short, minor doesn't affect that. You won't be getting anything specific out of minor if you are targeting quant and trading rules. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, so there's a question in which single degree students, how can they structure their finance courses? I would just like to say that try and complete try and complete 2 finance courses in the 2nd year, and in 3rd year first sem, usually what I've seen that people take up 3 finance courses, majorly BAV, FM, and SAPM together. Although there are some people who overburden, like they burden themselves with 4. You can even go for 4 courses in the 3rd year first sem, and 1 course in the 2nd year. You can definitely try out that, but that may be very hectic. Also, since if you are aiming for a 4-1 PS, so like basically you will have to complete your finance minor courses by 3-1, and if you are aiming for 4-2, then you have to complete it by 3-2. So like again, it depends how you would like to structure it, but like the general way which people structure is in they take up 2 courses in the 2nd year, and they take up 3 courses in 3-1.
Karthik, could you check if there are any questions in the form remaining? Or yes, we can open the stage. If anyone has a question, they can raise their hand.
Yes,
Yeah.
please go ahead, Ninadri. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Like, so I see most of the things we've covered in the questions we have in the form. We've covered most of the topics there. So if anyone wants to ask questions, can please ask right now. I think Karthike can you please put up contact numbers for all three of us on the chat so people can reach out if they have any more questions? And I think can we just after questions we have, can we proceed towards the closing of the session?
Yes, sure. I'll put up the contact numbers. And I had one thing to add regarding the structure of courses for both dual degree and single degree students. I'm a dual degree student, and what I usually do is I make an Excel sheet with all my CDCs and HULs and DELTs, and I try to play around with how I can accommodate all the courses in a particular semester. So it really helps when you can see everything and plan plan it out on an Excel sheet or on a piece of paper. So the structure, what I've seen among my friends and seniors, is usually a personal choice, and it really depends on which dual degree you are paid up with. And so I don't think you have a definite structure for both the degrees, but it's always good to plan it out on a piece of paper and then take it forward from there. And yes, I'll put in the numbers. We'll open the stage for a few questions if anyone has it.
I think I see a couple of questions there. I think Vivek, what Yashraj mentioned, that you should try to take at least two courses. So it doesn't matter if you take it in 2-1 or 2-2. Just I'll reiterate that ULs can be completed in your non-PS semester in your fourth year as well. You will be only, if you're a single degree student, you'll only be having a couple of courses by then. So you can do that later on. Try to complete finance courses, at least two finance courses during your second year. And is it recommended to do FOFA and SAPM in a second year instead of FOFA and DRM? So what if you are very sure about pursuing the finance minor, that no, you want to go for the finance minor, I think you can pursue any two courses you would like except for the prerequisites one. uh, but if you're even a little bit unsure that I don't know what I'm going to do, then I would say go for FOFA and DRM. That will give you two views on the spectrum, and will help you making a good decision. So I think Yashraj, if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, so like you may find that happen maybe a little heavier than that.
Sorry, Yashraj, you're not audible. Can you please
Hello.
speak up? Yeah, you're
Yeah,
audible now.
yeah. So I was saying that generally, like SAPM is usually a little heavier than DRM. So you may not want to, if you are not sure, you may not want to expose yourself with so much burden in the beginning. Once you're sure, then it's fine. But like DRM and FOFA are generally like it depends from person to person, but they are relatively lighter compared to SAPM, FM, and BAV. So that's why we generally students take it up in the second sem. Definitely, you can take up SAPM. There is no restriction per se from the college, but like that's the general way. Like unless you're sure, please don't burden yourself.
I one point I wanted to add is I seen question if they want to do QL instead of finance minor for PS1 CG. So yeah, PS1 matters on CG, but what internship do you do in PS1 is very less relevant to compared to what we'll be doing ahead. Most of the times PS1 projects are not that good. Even if it's good, it's majorly the IT projects which get ahead. So getting a good PS1 in comparison to managing all the finance minor, it's up to you how you can. But personally, I would say go with the finance, exploring finance minor compared to ULs, just in case you want to improve your CG. As ULs also, you don't guarantee a CG boost there. There is very non-deterministic grading in ULs also. Don't consider them as easy subjects. I had my worst grades in ULs apparently. So personal opinion there. Don't consider fuels as easy subjects to increase CG for PS1. It will not matter much in the long run.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes.
I guess we can wrap it up if Rinaldi and Eshraj don't have anything to add.
Yeah, for those whose questions may not have been answered, you can contact any one of us. We would be more than happy to help you. And Yeah, we can close the session if everyone's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Just one thing to add, as Yashraj mentioned. So you guys know now what our specialities are. Like I'm a dual degree student. Aryan is an early graduate. Yashraj has a perfect, he's from a non-engineering branch. He's from pharmacy, and he has scored a perfect offshoot. So you know what to reach out to, what people for. For any general queries, you can reach out to any one of us. But if you have, let's say, early grad query, please direct it to Aryan, and as such to Yashraj and myself. So I think we've tried to cover as much as we can, but there are going to be doubts in your minds. So feel free to ask any of your seniors. You can ask us at any point of time. Asking questions will help you make the right decisions. So please do that, and all the best, guys. Yes, over to you, Karthikeya. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
just one more point. Like, I would just request you all to make an informed decision. That's all. With the first, you gather all your information through all your inputs. Like, ask your seniors, talk to them. You can reach out to us too, and even go through the course handouts and contents as such. And then at the end, please make an informed choice. Please don't, like, since everyone's, don't have a herd mentality and follow someone else, because it's, you have to do the course. No one else is going to do it for you. Yeah.
Yes, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Arvind Bhaiya, Yashraj Bhaiya, and Ninad Bhaiya. This was really insightful, and I hope we were able to answer as many questions as possible. For any further queries, I have put down the numbers in the chat, uh, and we'll be sharing the recording on the Shoutbox page on the same post, probably where you found the Meet link and the Google Forms link. And yes, except for that, this has been very good. Thanks a lot to all the seniors and everyone involved. Thanks a lot. That's it.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Kartikeya and Ninad Bhaiya and Aryan, to help us conduct this session in a great way. And thank you to all the audience out here to listen to it patiently. If you have any other doubts, you can please direct it to us via DMs. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Thank you, Ashraj.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Aryan. Thank you, Karthikeya, for having us. Great session. If you guys have any questions, as Yashraj mentioned, please feel free to reach out at any point of time. Also, uh, please be a bit patient with us, because we might have work, so we might take some time to reply to you guys. Please don't feel that we are ignoring you. We'll come back to your query as soon as possible. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. All the best. Also, don't take it too seriously. Take it light. You can cover it. Enjoy the courses. You will have a great learning also. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.